Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Thank you for joining me, guys. Today I'm here joined by Trainer Guard, who just might be one of the future world champions of Clash Royale. He's a really young kid, but he's honestly an absolute beast at this game. Anybody who knows the competitive scene knows that this Sandstorm Pro is definitely one of the best in it. And he's come up with this really interesting new meta Hog Rider deck. You guys can see it on the screen right now. It has my new favorite card, the Lumberjack. It has Guards, Inferno Dragon, the power combo of Poison and Zap, Ice Golem, Minions, Hog. Really good deck. Today, he was kind enough to give a more in-depth deck review. For those of you who've been with the channel a long time, you'll know that that's how I kind of started on this whole pro tip series, is while the pros actually give like a really lengthy, in-depth review, and then I kind of regurgitate it to you guys. So we're going to kick back old school style, and I'll give you the whole deck rundown. Let me know if you prefer this way, or you prefer really focusing in on the gameplay. I kind of think that both has its advantages and disadvantages. However, in this episode, we'll be doing a little bit of both, probably doing a couple replays worth of strategy tips from Trainer Guard, and then we'll transition into the play-by-play. And also, I thought about a new idea on my videos, always trying to freshen things up here on CWA, trying to add new stuff when I can think of it, or when you guys certainly suggest it to me. So today, we'll be going ahead and adding in, I'll play the deck that I previously uploaded, and usually, like, when I get home at night, I unwind, play a few matches, and I'll share one noteworthy replay with you guys at the end of the next video. So, in other words, on the next video from now, I'll maybe share a replay or two of me playing this Hog deck, get it? And of course, I won't do that every single video, depending on what's going on in my life, but I'll try to do that here and there if you guys like it. Of course, your feedback is definitely important to me. So, I'll play the Golem deck at the end of this video, or I'll show you a really interesting replay at least. So let's get into this deck here, guys. Let's start with starting moves. Where else to start but starting plays with this deck? Now, Trainer Guard says his favorite starting moves are just cycle moves, right? Ice Golem in the back, Guards in the back, or Minions split in the back, right? Guards obviously split as well in the back. And wait to see what your opponent does. He's never going to start off with a Hog, especially in this meta where there's just too many Hog counters going around right now. It's too much of a risky play, possibly throwing away 4 Elixir for absolutely no damage at all. And what's worse, even maybe activating your opponent's King Tower at the expense of 1 Elixir negative trade on your part. What about substitutions, too? We should probably cover that. Now, Lumberjack, he says, just go ahead and sub in Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit, obviously, comboed with Zap and comboed with Ice Golem death damage, can do a really good job in this deck. Make the deck a lot faster, more of a cycle deck, although this is a pretty speedy deck, considering the defensive optimization that's kind of built into this deck. It's pretty fast as well. So, Ice Spirit for Lumberjack. For Inferno Dragon, you know, Trainer Guard says Inferno Dragon is just so important to this deck defensively that he does not think that you can really substitute for it. Of course, you can try out different cards. It would have to be something that targets air, obviously. So it could be, you know, Simple Musketeer and E-Wiz. You could even sub in Inferno Tower if you wanted to get funky, or Tornado. So there's some options for you, but it's a really important card to have in this deck. What about the key combos in this deck? Like, let's talk about the philosophy when playing this deck, how to play this deck correctly. Really, the main 2 cards that you're going to be focusing on, according to Guard, is your Hog Rider and your Lumberjack, and the synergy that the 2 have between them. Lumberjack is so strong right now, and he's so good against tanks, against miners, against hogs. He has like a really wide range of defensive utility, and on the counter push, that's where the magic comes in, right, with the Hog, because he stays alive after he kills a tank, a giant, whatever, and then he runs down the lane, and what better to combo a Hog with than an almost dying Lumberjack? He spills his rage, and then the Hog absolutely goes to town on the opponent's tower. You know what? I'm going to take a quick break from the deck review tips, and I kind of want to cover this replay here because we are well into overtime. So just to catch you guys up, we have a little bit of an advantage here damage-wise, but you can see a big monster push coming in to Trainer Guard. Here it comes, a Mega Knight and a Balloon. Luckily, hopefully we can eat up that rage spell from the Lumberjack, use those minions and the Inferno Dragon to finish off that balloon before it gets even in proximity to our tower to do any death damage. So here it comes, another big push by Guard. He has the Hog Rider, he has the poison, he gets that hit down, and the tower goes down thereafter. So there it is, a really nice victory there by Guard. I do want to give a shout to my YouTube sponsor of the day, Shadow Clash Royale. He has about 200 subscribers. You guys might want to look him up. He doesn't have any videos yet. Maybe he plans on uploading, I don't know. But anyway, shout out to my subscriber of the day, Shadow. Thank you. So moving into the replay number 2 here, we're going to go against a heavier bait deck here. I think this deck also has Mega Knight in it. Really annoying deck to go against. And these decks, yeah, it does. The fact that they have Mega Knight, it presents a challenge, right, in itself for a Hog player. Obviously, Mega Knight, an amazing Hog counter. So we'll see again how Trainer Guard does a very good job of baiting out the Mega Knight throughout this match and making his opponent use him and then cycling to Hog before they have time to get to another Mega Knight. And that's something that you're going to have to do with this deck. But let's get back to the tips, right? So the main offensive combo, of course, either Hog and Minions, Hog and Guards, or Hog and Lumberjack. A dying Lumberjack would be absolutely fantastic, or a living Lumberjack, I guess, would be just as good, right? So defensively, Ice Golem, Inferno Dragon, and Minions are a real all-star trifecta defensive combo, according to Trainer Guard's write-up. He said that oftentimes his opponent will drop something like a Mega Knight at the bridge, and then maybe even support it with something like an E-Wiz. And what Trainer Guard does is he doesn't panic, and you know, that's probably the first thing that he wrote down here that probably should have been mentioned at the very beginning, right? With this deck, you don't want to over kind of commit on offense. You should relax when playing this deck. It's not like a deck where you're going to be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I got to go there. Like, nah, you don't want to panic. Trainer Guard says the #1 tip for this deck, #1 common mistake is playing too aggressively, especially in the first 2 minutes. And #2 is just not relaxing, right? Don't overcommit. So the best, how to avoid this, again, just like kind of take a deep breath, react to your opponent, mitigate the risk of being too offensive and too aggressive with this deck. Know when to shut down your pushes. And if you take a look at this gameplay, you'll see that Guard does a really good job of being patient at times, not going all in with his Hog Rider every single time, every single counter push. So really good illustration in the gameplay behind you guys, or next to me, I guess. Behind me. It's not behind me in any way at all, but anyway, the gameplay to the side, right? Anyway, offensive strategy, bait out your Hog's counter, and then try to punish, especially in double elixir time. The first thing that you want to do in these matches, guys, is search for information about your opponent's deck. If you know your opponent doesn't have a hard counter to Hog after 1 or 2 plays, you kind of identify what deck your opponent's playing. Maybe it's a beatdown deck and they don't have any good answer. You can go in with Hog in single elixir time. Don't be so passive that you're never playing your Hog, but always be aware of what your opponent's best counter is and where it is in their rotation. So on defense, it's pretty easy, guys. With this deck, you have the Inferno Dragon and you have the Lumberjack. That's going to help you out against miners, giants, golems, basically any tank coming your way. You got it on lockdown. Very, very easy with this deck with Lumberjack. Miner decks, of course, Lumberjack and Guards will be your main MVPs in this deck. Hog decks, you'll have Lumberjack again. Lumberjack is great against Hog as well. And against air decks, you have Inferno Dragon, you have Minions, you have Poison, and you even have Ice Golem and Zap for the Swarm cards, for Minions, for Bats. So you guys have a lot of answers with this deck to any type of archetype that you're facing. Let's go ahead and watch this replay and kind of focus in on this really annoying bridge spam deck. I wouldn't even call it necessarily a bridge spam deck. It's more of a zap bait deck. However, the way that PT Private Sergio here, the way that he plays the deck is going to be extremely aggressive and annoying. And Trainer Guard does a very good job of keeping his composure and playing this absolutely beautifully. So here we go. It's a Lumberjack and Minions, and then the Ice Golem distracting those ice spirits, those spear goblins. No Ice Spirit, Ash. No Ice Spirit, man. So at this point, we kind of have identified exactly what deck the opponent's playing. It's a Zap bait deck. He has Skeleton Barrel, he has Inferno Dragon, and he has Bats. So watch, of course we do have Zap in the deck, but watch how good of a job throughout this entire match the Trainer Guard does at kind of not wasting his Zap and always having an answer for whatever card he needs to respond to in terms of the swarm units. Not one time during this match, although it does come down to the very end, not one time during this match do you feel that Trainer Guard loses track of his cycle. He doesn't lose his counters. So here we go. It comes a bunch of skeletons coming down the lane along with a Royal Ghost, and he's just going to go ahead and drop his Ice Golem and then drop his guards. At this point, he's waiting. He has that poison down, but he has to wait till the Skeleton Barrel drops, and then he uses that that Zap spell. Excuse me, that was the opponent's poison, not Trainer Guards. A lot of action going on here in this left lane, and you can see the opponent's just cycling at the bridge, and we're just cycling in response. We have an answer for everything the opponent can possibly throw at us here, so we're able to cycle all the way back to Zap there, and then 2 hits on the Lumberjack basically ties things up again. Actually, a little bit of an advantage for us, well, up until those Bats actually reach the tower and the Spirit Goblin gets a couple hits on the tower. So we're already approaching double elixir time here, and you're going to see, I mean, it's been a struggle to get anything on offense with this deck, but like Trainer Guard has kind of taught us during the deck review portion of this video, is there's no need to panic here, right? There's 3 minutes of overtime, and or a minute if you're in ladder with this deck, which is also very good on ladder, this variation. And, you know, we'll use poison tactfully when we can get value out of it like we just did there, but otherwise we're just going to keep playing defense. We're not going to panic here. So again, using Ice Golem to distract those skeletons, Ice Golem death damage, killing those skeletons, using guards to protect our Inferno Dragon, baited the, used our Zap spell, so hey, we used our Zap, not a big deal. We have the Ice Golem still to protect the tower from those skeletons. Meanwhile, our HOG actually gets 2 hits on the opponent's tower. That basically is GG in our favor here. We're going to play an Inferno Dragon and minions at the river there. 1 more poison and a Zap, I think we'll do it here. 1 hit on the HOG will actually do it just as well, and we take down that tower. We pick up the victory there. So very good job by Trainer Guard picking up that win. So guys, you can see my battle log here. It is a lot of wins and a lot of losses too, right? Went on a little tilt here. Played some 2v2 with a subscriber, and you can see, you know, mixed results lately. I've been trying a lot of 3 Musketeer Lumberjack. I really like this deck especially. I might bring this deck back. We'll see. We have a lot of options here. I'm sitting on like so many good decks right now, guys. It's crazy. So I do want to show you this replay really quickly though. Let me know, guys, do you like this added on to a normal video, or do you prefer kind of just the video on one deck, not switching things up too dramatically? So I make a little bit of a mistake here, I guess. I poison the pump, and then here he comes punishing me really, really badly. I have the Mini P.E.K.K.A, I have the Mega Minion, but it's really just not enough here to stop that push since I didn't have poison in cycle. So let's fast forward a little bit here. Things get really bad, and then they get pretty good at the end, right? Spoiler alert. So here comes the poison against this Battle Ram and Minion Horde, able to kind of mitigate any serious damage here. Now this Miner, I should have just gone ahead and let him go. There was really no need for me to protect the pump there. I preserved like 2 elixir, but at this point, I wasted 3 elixir protecting the pump on the Mega Minion. So here is my first push of the game. I decided to get rid of, give him that left tower, but I still had to play the Lumberjack there to kind of mitigate the damage on my King Tower. So I knew he was going to play 3 Musketeers at this point. I was ready for it. I had Zap and Poison ready. I knew I needed to take this right tower down here, or else the game was like pretty much over in my opinion. So I actually did get contact on the tower, did a good job supporting the push there, make sure that I had to play the Mini P.E.K.K.A and the Lumberjack because I knew I had to go for the 3 crown here, not necessarily on this push. I wasted a poison here, by the way. I didn't realize that the Mega Minion totally had that under control against that Minion Horde, and total waste of 4 elixir on my part. Of course, got a little bit of damage on the King Tower, which will come back to help me later on. So I thought he might be playing 3 Musketeers in the pocket there, so I played a preemptive Golem. I play a Lumberjack and a Mini P.E.K.K.A in the left. I use Poison. I really can't have him take down my King Tower, obviously, guys. So I'm also forced to use Zap against the 2 Musketeers. Meanwhile, my Golem actually does get to his King Tower, and all of a sudden, things aren't looking so bad here. He plays his minion horde. I get a lot of death damage on his King Tower, and things with about 35 or 37 seconds left here, all of a sudden I'm thinking, wow, I think I got this, guys. I play a mini P.E.K.K.A on the 3 Musketeers on the left, and that's going to be it. I was able to finish off the tower with the Zap and the Poison. Are you guys playing that deck? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? I know a lot of people have commented that it's weak against Lava Loon decks, air decks. That's definitely the case, but what you have to do is kind of what I did in that replay against a different deck, obviously a different archetype, but you have to just go strong in the other lane and go for the 3 crown and just have a base race. If your opponent has a air beatdown deck, because your deck is heavier and you can come out on top oftentimes. So guys, I want to give a huge shout out to Trainer Guard, obviously part of the Sandstorm Pro team. Really, really good team lately. They've been adding some key talent. And yeah, so shout out to Trainer Guard. Check out his information in the description below. Let me know what you think of the deck and the kind of new tweak to the episode format. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information in the description below. Thank you, and as always, take care, guys.